Inform, share, educate. Welcome to our YouTube channel, Flokirshow. As we promised, we inform, we share, and we educate. In our presentation today, we want to go straight to a very emotive issue which has come up as a result of the many fires that are consuming students' dormitories during this term, and especially concerning the case of Utumishi Girls Dormitory, which led to the fatality of 16 students and injured 79 more. The CS Interior, Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, has recommended, or in other ones has directed, that all institutions or all learning institutions should deploy the CCTV technology in all its critical areas, including dormitories, with a view to averting damage to property, strikes, and access to drugs by the learners. In addition to that, the CS has recommended that the CCTV moves from the principal's office to a manned control room with an expert to monitor in 24/7.
I was asking myself, if the CCTV cameras that had been installed in the dormitories in Utumishi Academy, if they had a control room where then the watchman is not sitting at the gate but is at the control room looking at the movements of the students, that problem should have been stopped, because the CCTV cameras were showing the movement of the kids when they are starting the fire and all that. I think we need to ensure that all our schools have proper CCTV cameras covering various and critical places, but we also need to ensure that those schools, our schools, have control rooms where the watchman, instead of having a watchman at the gate, you have the watchman sitting at the CCTV room, control room.
And this raises some legal issues. Before I move on to the application of these, I would wish to give two scenarios which have come to our notice as we checked the cases that are ongoing. There was fire at Hillside Academy in Russia, in Nyeri, and one of the accusations is that the proprietor did not install CCTV cameras on the dormitory which got burnt. We have another similar case at Utumishi Girls Academy, and the accusation is the CCTVs are installed inside the sleeping place, the dormitory, which makes it illegal.
I said this: those CCTV cameras were installed where the kids were sleeping. Under Article 31, the Bill of Rights, the right to privacy is protected. Was it violated? It was violated. Those kids are likely to go home scot-free.
And because of this, I know teachers are used to the main acts: the Teacher Service Commission Act, the Basic Education Act 2013, the Children's Act, the Kenya National Examinations Act. Those are very common to any teaching institution. But allow me now to go into other acts which are now coming to affect the administration of discipline in our learning institutions. That is, from our Constitution 2010, we have Article 31, which talks about privacy. And in addition to this, we are looking at it in as far as CCTV installation is concerned, and in as far as the data of students is concerned. And then we also have the Data Protection Act of 2019. These two, Article 31 and Data Protection Act, we shall try to look and see within which context are you supposed to use data and for what reason, and making sure that we do not break the law. The main issue about installation of CCTVs or recording of students in institutions is being contested under privacy. And so we are looking at the privacy under the Constitution of Kenya and the Data Protection Act of 2019. We'll need to look at the legal analysis on what this is all about. In Kenya, privacy is protected at two major levels. Number one, the Constitution of Kenya 2010, which establishes privacy as fundamental right under the Bill of Rights. And then two, the Data Protection Act of 2019, which gives practical legal rules on how personal data must be collected, used, stored, shared, and protected. These laws work together. The Constitution gives the broad right to privacy, and the Data Protection Act provides the detailed framework for handling personal data lawfully. This means that where a school, employer, company, hospital, or government institution collects personal information, takes photographs, installs CCTV, records phone numbers, uses biometric data, or shares student information, it must comply with both the Constitution and Data Protection Act of 2019. Let us look at the constitutional basis of privacy. Article 31 of the Constitution talks about right to privacy. It states that every person has the right to privacy, including the right not to have their personal, home, or property searched, their possessions seized, information relating to their families or private affairs unnecessarily required or reviewed, or the privacy of their communications infringed. Schools collect a lot of sensitive student information under Article 31 and the Data Protection Act. Schools must ensure that student records are kept confidentially, only authorized staff access them, records are not disclosed carelessly, information is collected only where necessary, and parents/students are informed about how the information will be used. What are the examples of protected school data? We have admission forms, exam results, medical conditions, counseling records, disciplinary records, fee balances, parent contact details, special needs records, and boarding records. Then we look at the school photographs, videos, and advertising. Most of the schools often use students' photos in brochures, school event videos, social media posts, animation campaigns, website galleries, and testimonials. This raises both privacy and data protection issues. The legal position is that because a child's image is personal data, the school should have a lawful basis for using it, and the use should be fair, transparent, and in child's best interest. Here are the key concerns. Was the student or parent informed? Was permission obtained where necessary? Is the use education or purely commercial? And does the publication expose the child to risk or embarrassment? Is the image being used beyond the purpose for which it was collected? Example, if a school uses a child's photo to market the school without informing the parent or without lawful basis, this can raise serious Privacy and Data Protection Act concerns. Then we have CCTVs in schools, Privacy and Data Protection Act analysis. CCTV is one of the clearest examples of the Constitutional and Data Protection Act working together. The question is CCTV automatically illegal? And the answer is no. A school may install CCTV for legitimate purposes such as security, crime prevention, protection of students and staff, monitoring entry and exit points, protecting school property. But CCTV must still respect privacy. Under Article 31, CCTV must not become an unnecessary invasion of private life. Under the Data Protection Act, CCTV footage is personal data because it can identify individuals. So, a school using CCTV should satisfy the following. Number one, lawful purpose. There must be a genuine reason such as security or safety. Number two, necessity. The CCTV must be necessary for that purpose. Number three, proportionality. The school must ask, is CCTV the least intrusive way? Is the location appropriate? Is the level of monitoring excessive? Then we have transparency. Students, staff, parents, and visitors should be informed that CCTV is in operation. And that's why any place where CCTV camera is installed, there must be a poster which is telling the viewers that this area is under 24/7 CCTV surveillance. Then we have security of footage. Recorded footage must be stored securely and accessed only by authorized persons. Then we have limited retention. Footage should not be kept indefinitely without reason. And then finally we have no misuse. Footage should not be used to shame, harass, embarrass, or exploit the students. Concerning what happened to Hillside and Russia and the case of Utumishi Girls Academy, here comes the burning question. Is a dormitory a private place? Privacy versus Data Protection Act position. This is a very important question. A school dormitory is not identical to a private home, but it is still a highly private space. Students sleep, change clothes, rest, keep personal belongings, and live part of their private life there. Because of that, a dormitory attracts a high expectation of privacy, especially for children. In concerning to this, then CCTV should not be installed in places like changing areas, bathrooms, toilets, or other intimate spaces. And this is where now the lawmakers should come in to assess the principles to weigh the issues of security versus the intrusion of privacy of students. They need to define privacy in as far as the context of inside the dormitory is concerned. Is the corridor inside a dormitory private or public? And should the CCTV record what happens inside the corridors? We would look at issues to do with this and ask the lawmakers to come clear on whether the corridors inside the dormitory should be monitored by CCTV or not. In conclusion, we would say this. The issue of whether the CCTV should be inside the dormitory or not, the fundamental question is, we look at the security of the students versus the privacy of the student. we do a benefit risk analysis. Where the benefit outweighs the risk, we go for that. The question we need to ask ourselves, would a parent be more offended by a dead child or a naked child? When we weigh those options, then we have to say, can we install CCTVs inside the dormitories, but with precaution not to do it so to bathrooms, toilets, or any cubicles which are changing areas? Thank you so much for being our audience, and we shall continue informing you as and when we find this information.